listening to an exclusive on PodHub Network. Your city, your podcast.
To the delight of this crowd, McClendon marches down the dugout steps with first base.
McCutcheon's throw. The runner breaks to the plate. Here's the throw. Wow. He is out. The Buccos win. That ball's hit well to left center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Live. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. Welcome, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm just a little disappointed again because I can't figure out this damn Twitter stuff. We're apparently live on YouTube right now, and just YouTube and Twitch, but not Twitter once again. So, F you Twitter/Periscope. But what's up, everyone? Mediocre producer. I don't know. Look at Tyler. Look how clear Tyler looks right now. Okay, let me start this off. Quick question. I'll start with you, Tyler. How many innings did you watch tonight? Jim, how many innings did you watch tonight? Wow, this is terrible, guys. This is bad. This is a terrible show. Everyone log off right now if you're watching. There's no point. So the beginning part when there was still some hope? Yeah. I'll be honest. That's the part I missed. I got home from work quite late after 7 today. So by the time I turned it on, that was when I think Yajure gave up his 7th. No, 6. That's what it was. 6-0. I turned it on when it was 6-0. And they went out. So that's when I started watching. And of course was kind of passively watching because of the game it was. Not much to see. Brian Reynolds got a hit. I think that's all that happened. What were you doing, Jim? So you can go watch your boys, your man crush Sundays. I mean, it's better than watching a Steelers game. I'll give you that. Oh, shoot.
Straight football.
And you guys are apparently muted again. So tell us, Jim, where are you going this weekend?
Jeez.
Hey, Jim, is there a
This
layover
show's
in
terrible.
Denver?
It's completely off the rails.
So
oh my God. I want to punch myself.
Were we just muted for the whole first 4 minutes?
Probably. I mean, I can
right.
hear you.
Cool.
If you
right,
guys
guys,
can hear,
let
if
me
you guys
just
can
skip-
hear him now, let me know. We should be good.
All right, well, piss on it. Let me just jump right into this game because I have a few thoughts.
Let's do it.
We already said none of us really watched it.
They didn't hear. You
Jim
can
could
lie.
not-
You can lie now. They didn't hear that.
I
Tell
know.
me you watched all 9 innings.
I watched 2 innings. I said that before. Watched Yajure pitch. Jim did not watch any of it. DiNardo watched 1 inning. I actually want to give credit to Jim right now for what he said on Starbucks about everyone needs to temper their expectations here. because before this game, we saw all the hope get thrown on Yajure. And as we saw, there's a lot of work to be done here, man. More than a lot.
Yeah. I wish I could say
I still like
I
him.
agree or disagree or something, but again, that's the part I missed. So, but from what I heard, I mean, obviously the stat line shows it was pretty bad. But
Yeah, there's not much more you need to look at other than a stat line. But
well, let us know, pitching Yenza. What do you think about Yajure
did-
to this point?
I still like him a lot. Anyone that says he's going to be an ace needs to temper their expectations a good bit. He's not an ace. You don't throw 89 to 90 with not great command and become an ace. His stuff will play. His fastball is still sitting 89. Changeup's at 87. It's got good arm side run. Curveball still works, but command wise, he misses middle a lot. And I actually saw Gavin Williams tweet earlier. Yajure pitches way too aggressive for a guy that has the kind of stuff he has, which is kind of the opposite of Keller.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And Yajure tries to get up in the zone a lot, which seems to be a problem because 89 is just not going to play up there. And when you're 2 miles an hour different with your changeup and fastball, that changeup, no matter how much movement you have on it, it's just not going to play. So I'd like to see him maybe get a sinker or something else. And maybe he needs to move down in the zone a little more. But I still think the stuff's going to play. It's just maybe at a 4 and 5 level starter. He's not an ace. Like, that's not a bad thing. We're not calling him a bust because he's not an ace.
So I'm gonna put something out there because obviously, yeah, Jim and I.
Gemini.
Gemini. No, I'm a Taurus. So Jim and I went pretty hard on some topics this Tuesday or Wednesday. But to your degree, I don't know if I've seen it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you have. Maybe I'm not following all the crazy ones out there. But has anyone really looked at him as like the ace? Has he gotten that label yet? Have I missed that?
And that's who I was referring to.
Oh, okay. Well, for that one person,
the person you guys already referred to, but
that is kind of crazy. I never thought the expectations for him was ace by any means. There's really not much in his game that screams ace.
No.
So, okay. Well, fine. I guess it was out there. By the way, just go to the chat. Love you too. Nesbitt, I guess, yeah, he said you guys were muted the whole time. And hi, Vinny.
No.
Speaking of those people we're talking about. Hi, Vinny.
Just to piggyback on what Tyler was saying, I think, we've actually all been mentioning for a while. The velocity is concerning, right? Because if you're going to throw the ball 89, 90 miles an hour, you have to do pretty much everything else perfect, right? And it's not to say you can't, right? I mean, if you just have really good command of your pitches, you can get by with that. We see that with pitchers across baseball, right? I mean, you look at Kyle
across
Hendricks,
the
right?
other,
Kyle Hendricks.
across the other dugout.
Yeah,
Even though Tyler
bomb off him
can hit, yes, even though Tyler can hit a bomb off him.
But like you look at Kyle Hendricks, very successful starting pitcher in the majors, and he tops out at 88, right? So it's definitely possible to do. And the one thing I guess I do like about Yajure is like he's not just pumping fastballs either. I mean, he threw 20% of his pitches were fastballs today, right? So it's not like he's like pumping those in there. But
how many were changeups, Jim?
About the same. He had 11 four-seamers, 12 changeups.
And I'm thinking the average velocity on those were 87.
Yeah. Changeups were 87.
So,
four-seamers,
and what was the
four-seamers were
fastball?
90 and a half. So not a whole lot of difference.
So he's pretty much throwing 40% fastball. And a two-seamer that isn't a two-seamer.
Fastball.
Yeah, I guess that's weird. I guess we need to figure out what exactly he's throwing there because
I mean, it's got change-up movement.
Yeah, that's weird. He probably needs to be throwing that change up like 83 if he's going to be throwing 90 mile an hour fastballs. But I think Yajure, he definitely can be a starter in the major leagues. By no means is he an ace, right? I think, you're looking at a number 4 starter probably is like a ceiling, right? That's kind of what I would think of him as. And like, I mean, that's good. I mean, you need a number 4 starter in the majors. So I think that's what I kind of see him as. I'm not really, one start doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah, it was a pretty weak Cubs lineup, but I'm not concerned what he does over, you know, like one outing. I think we've seen him pitch a few times this year, and I mean, he's only 23, and I've liked what I've seen from him from some of his other outings. So it's not like I'm gonna say, oh, you know what, he sucked tonight. You know, Yajure's no good. But I guess to your point, right? We can't really expect these guys to immediately come up here and be, you know, really good pitchers. They're gonna have to go through some pains every now and then. And tonight we saw that.
Well, I saw that. You too. Or packing, or
I read about it, and then I listened.
How you want?
I listened to you say it.
You saw that, yes.
Well, and that's one thing I asked too, because like you mentioned too, Jim, it is just one start tonight. However, albeit small, you know, we did see him a few times this year. So there's always been that concern. I mean, it's hard to really label a guy an ace by any means, right? But he clearly has that ceiling because, right, he does like top out at 90, and that's something as well. I mean, I kind of can't get over the fact that he's only hitting 90.
That's bad.
And he used to not really be that way.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, why is this the case right now?
I mean, last year his fastball averaged 92.5. Now he was coming out of the bullpen last year, so maybe that had something else to do with it. Maybe as a starter, he's just, you know, stretching himself out a little bit more. But yeah, I would like to see that fastball get bumped up a little bit.
Right.
In the 80s isn't great, because that's just, it limits you on what you can do. Again, you have to be really good with all of your other aspects of pitching if you're only going to throw the ball 89 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. And Vinny says even he never thought of him as an ace. So there's that. So congrats, Vinny.
Yeah, there's one particular account that I just had to get my 2 cents on.
I get it. But I'm with you. I mean, it's not as if this makes like the trade terrible. I mean, and you're talking about bust. I mean, this doesn't label anything. But if we're on the bandwagon of, you know, people tempering their expectations and being realistic, I think this is kind of putting things in perspective now. You know, you did get to see another start from him. It was bad, but it just kind of goes to show that not everything's a fleece, not everything's a win, not everybody's an ace. And there are some clear limitations on him. I will say, because again, I didn't get to see the start, as Tyler keeps pointing out, but what have I seen from him earlier in the season? Like, there's still a lot of things to like from him. For the same reasons, I'll say that I like Oviedo. Like, clearly he's not ready. He needs some seasoning. He's going to go down to the minors next year, but I still like what he brings. You know, there's still something in there. It's the same thing I see out of Yajure. You know, I mean, they got that mentality. Like you say, they're very aggressive. Hopefully the stuff starts playing better. But yeah, I'm with you guys. So, okay, let's do this. So we talked about Yajure start tonight. Thank you. Let's get to some positive stuff, because you know what happened last night was Roansy Contreras. So how many innings did you watch of that one, Tyler?
0. I went back and watched it.
Okay.
3 innings of it.
Okay.
I went back and watched 3 innings. I didn't watch any of it live.
Fair. Jim?
I watched the first 3 innings.
Wow, you guys are terrible.
And,
I watched the whole damn thing.
No, after the 3 innings were done, I went and got drunk. So,
well, I mean,
see, I went and got
so
drunk,
did
and then I
Pirates.
came back and watched 3 innings.
Nice. All right, so let's get to the start then. Contreras, what are your thoughts?
I loved how he, he was attacking hitters right away. You could tell he was a little amped up in the first inning. The velocity was really, really high. I think he was averaging around 98 in that first inning, and then he ended up settling around 96 or so for the game, as far as his fastball goes. I loved what I saw. The fastball had some zip on it, right? Somebody mentioned on Twitter, like, Contreras' fastball is the complete opposite of Mitch Keller's, right? Because Mitch Keller's got that flat fastball and it just gets hammered. You could tell like Contreras'
Caminero
fastball,
fastball.
it had tail on it. It was one of those fastballs where it almost, looks like it kind of speeds up halfway through. Which is just, it was good to see. It was a good looking fastball. It definitely played for sure. His slider was really good. I mean, he got some swings and misses on the slider. The curveball, same thing. Like the breaking balls look good. Like the stuff definitely played. And from a command standpoint, he mostly hit his spots. There were a few times where I was like, hey, you probably need to get those breaking balls down a little bit more. But nobody made him pay for those mistakes, which is always good.
Pretty close.
He came close one time, but there was a slider right at the top of the zone. I was like, not where you want to throw sliders. But he got away with it. And I was really happy with what I saw. He attacked the hitters. The stuff was there. I mean, from a pure stuff standpoint, he exceeded my expectations. Really, I didn't think his fastball was going to look that good, and it looked great.
I think for the most part, I agree with Jim. It was a good showing for him. Like Jim said, the fastball plays at a major league level, the slider plays at a major league level. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to see the curveball. I think he only threw 5 and 1 changeup.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think you're going to have that with 3 innings pitched. He showed that he can throw the fastball up in the zone. It's kind of like Yajure and Keller, though. It's another thing where you got to learn how to pitch at a major league level. You miss in the middle of the zone, they're going to make you pay. But unlike Yajure, he can miss in the middle, and it's not always going to make you pay.
That's a good point.
It'll be good to see him next year and see more of the curveball changeup play a little more and see a little more of that, and hopefully see some command improvement. But once again, he's 21. Can't really complain. I thought it was a really good start. Some spots you'd like to see a little more from, but it's first start. He's 21. He probably knew he only had 3 innings maximum. So he's amped up as can be. And I would have plunked like 5 guys if it was me.
But would he have done it intentionally or on accident? Because I feel like just intentionally.
Both.
You just feel like, you know what? Screw it.
Both. Cubs and accident.
There you go. Yeah, I think that takeaway is pretty much the same. I was impressed for just what it was. I mean, I was excited to see him. He came out there. He looked good. It wasn't perfect by any means. Like, that was one of the things that he escaped. He escaped with no earned runs, which was nice. But it was shaky. Like, it could have definitely gone another way at that outing. But just for what it was nice. Like, as Jim pointed out, and I agree, he definitely missed some stuff. He just, it was that feel. It kind of goes back to, again, it's like we keep talking about some different pitchers again, like Yajure being one of them. Oviedo, like, he just looked like he belonged out there, and realizing he's just 21. And on top of that, he missed a lot of the season in AA, even though he dominated AA. A. He went to AA, and then he got to AAA. Really, like, he's really not pitched much above in like the higher levels in the minors. So here he is in the majors now doing this. I know it's the Cubs. It's a weak lineup, but still, just for what he is, he hasn't really pitched. He didn't pitch at all last year. He didn't pitch real against great competition this year. So for his first start in the majors right now, it was all good. Like, that's what I was impressed about. He came out there. He looked like he belonged. All the other stuff is just icing on the cake.
Kind of remind me of Garrett Cole's first start, where he came out and walked like 3 batters and then somehow got through that first inning. And you're just like, this guy just has it somehow.
Didn't Garrett Cole get a double his first start too, by the way?
He did, yes.
Yeah, I think Garrett Cole went like 6 or 7 innings that first start too.
6 2/3, struck out like 2.
Yeah. I would
3
say
pitches or less, baby.
But like you just mentioned, like, he looked like he belonged, right? You could tell that he was confident out there. Like, when he did fall behind hitters a couple times. He got that walk in the second inning kind of out of the way. But then there were a couple other times he fell behind hitters, and he basically was just like, hey, here's my stuff, hit it. And, they couldn't do it, right? So in particular, when he was at first and second, I think, and he fell behind 2-0, he was like, all right, here you go. Here's a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. See if you can hit it. And they couldn't do it. So I think that's that's the one good thing about having really good stuff, right? Is when you get into a jam, that stuff can sometimes really save you because, hitting is hard, right? It's hard to hit. And
just ask the Pirates.
If you just make somebody have to hit the ball, again, if you're a great hitter, you're batting 300, right? So I mean that means 7 out of 10 times you're gonna get out. So hey, if you have great stuff and you fall behind and you're in trouble, be aggressive. And that's what I felt like he was doing yesterday. He was confident. He was very confident with his stuff, which I like to see.
Any other news or notes on those two pitchers?
I would say I would fully expect Contreras to go to the Arizona Fall League. I think getting him some extra innings this offseason be beneficial.
Was that announced?
I don't know.
Actually, I think I've had I'll put it this way, it's a crazy day with work today. So I'm not fully prepared on this. I thought I saw someone tweeting out there some names, though. Now that you mentioned it.
Well, even Arizona Fall League's probably where you want to send him because you can probably control a little more, especially with the elbow stuff.
Right.
You don't want to send the Dominican League, and who knows what will happen.
And that's kind of what we're talking about. Like, definitely could see him as a possibility. Definitely Cruz.
Cruz should not leave the country.
for a couple of reasons.
There's one reason he should not leave the country. Keep him here.
Yeah. Place him in bubble wrap. Keep him here. Take away his visa.
Get him a driver.
I feel terrible. I want to look at this, but anyways, I guess.
I'm not seeing any Arizona Fall League stuff. Like I'm on Pirates Prospects. I'm on Pittsburgh Baseball Network.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing anything.
Cool. Then we'll bypass that. Yeah. I just want to say, because you mentioned it, and I felt like I saw something, so I wanted to look it up real quick to make sure we're talking factual things for one, because those things do exist. Certain people that like the right things, but anyways, okay. So if you don't see anything, I'm good with that. But I would like to see him in the Arizona Fall League as well. Correct. For all those reasons, opposed to the Dominican.
Yeah, he's a guy especially you don't want him to overuse. Just mainly because of the elbow concerns this season.
Protect him at all costs, please.
Yeah. Now that service time is rolling, let's.
Well,
they did an option today, huh?
He got a day. Yeah, he optioned.
I guess.
Did he get option today?
He got option today.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to need Ethan.
I missed that too.
I'm going to need Ethan because we don't have this happen too often where they call him up for a day at the end of the year.
Yeah. It's just one day.
So if he gets hurt, like if he has Tommy John at the end of this year.
That's it. Don't count.
What?
One day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also
don't manifest that, Tyler. Like, I don't know. Why are you even talking about it? Why do you mention it?
I was going to thank the Pirates for giving us. I know Yajure was awful today.
It doesn't care. It's now in the universe.
But we got 2 days of like something to watch from Pirates baseball with like 5 games left. I'm used to watching absolute awful baseball. And it was awful, but there was something.
Along that point, there is also a way to make this last series really exciting. Because there's a guy who just got promoted to AAA, and he is killing the ball.
Happening. But is it?
I'm just,
But is it? I knew we were going to talk about this, and that's why I was asking for the news and notes because I wanted to get to this next guy here soon.
I would love to see Oneil Cruz play this weekend at PNC Park. Like, why not? 3 games. You're going to give him 3 days service time. It's not like it's going to do anything, right? Let him, like, he's earned the opportunity, in my opinion. Like, he had a great season into Altoona. He's just otherworldly right now in Indy. We're not doing anything. Like, give us something to watch this last weekend. You know, it's $10 tickets at PNC Park. Let's sell a few of those. Get Oneil Cruz in the ballpark tomorrow and let him play these last 3 games against the Reds.
It's not happening, but I agree with you fully.
Okay, so like I didn't have this thought entertained at all a few days ago because he just got caught up to AAA, right? And that alone was like, all right, kudos, that makes sense. That was smart, you know, he's in AAA. And then he's just mashing in AAA with Contreras getting the call. I think that just lit everything up, right? Well, if you're going to give him, why not Cruz as well? I'm on board with it. I'm kind of with you too. Why not? Like, it's just 3 games. It's not as if you're telling, you know, we're calling up Cruz for all of September. It's just 3 games. The way he's been playing, I kind of put the Contreras thing as it's kind of like a little carrot, like a little reward for him. Like, you've done so well this year. Let's reward you with a start. You get a taste of the big leagues and you head into the offseason. Why not the same for Cruz?
You get a couple of days of major league pay.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
You get major league pay for 3 days. He's on the 40-man, so it's not like it would be that big of a deal, right? And I mean, with Hayes going on the IL, they just lost a minor league, an infielder. So let's do it. Let's call him up.
Like I said, I'm all for it. You know, to me, this is almost like his also reward. You know, you've done so well. I know he was also injured. He came back and he's performed, and now he's come to AAA, and he hit another home run tonight. What was it, 423 feet, they said? Just a monster. He's a monster. He is. We headed like into this season just saying how much of a high risk, high reward type player he is. And I think he's starting to chop away at that risk, right, label, where he's just looking the part. And now he's in AAA doing what he's doing. So, like, why not? Like you say, it's just 3 games. It's not like you're really going to hinder his development by it. You're not really eating away the clock by doing it. Why not? And then, like you said, it's fan appreciation weekend. Let's have something that the fans can appreciate. Oneil Cruz coming up. Like, you just had Contreras that had a little bit of excitement for just the 10,000 fans that were there that game. Why not Cruz for the whole weekend? And it was a weekday, so I also get that. This is a whole weekend. Why not? Why not?
I know it's kind of tongue-in-cheek what you're saying right there, but after Contreras' start, if Cruz comes up here and just hits a home run over the weekend,
oh man,
the Pirates have a little buzz going into the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
God knows this team needs some freaking, like, they need some juice.
I don't know how much buzz they're really going to have from a Oneil Cruz home run, but I kind of get your point. At least this is the exciting part. What is the exciting part of this organization is the prospects coming, right? That's what's going to be exciting about 2022. Not so much what this lineup will be. It's going to be that this lineup is coming. So why not have it here and at least it's there? Like, you got to see it. It's now here. You're now entered the zone of the future.
Yeah, but it's also like we're different from the last regime. We're going to call them up.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing I like about it is the other guys, the previous guys wouldn't have started Contreras yesterday. The other guys wouldn't bring up Oneil Cruz these last few days. Like, show that you're not the same people. Like, that's another thing I think that's big. Like, Oneil Cruz has clearly demonstrated that, like, he deserves a chance to play Major League Baseball. Like, I don't think anybody can say that he doesn't at this point. You're trotting out Kevin Newman to play shortstop right now with his 60 weighted runs created plus. Like,
is it that now?
Like, just
has he really moved up the board?
I don't know. Just do it though. Like 3 games, do it. Show that you're different from the last guys. Show that like you will reward somebody for playing well. I just feel like it would be a big story locally. Like people would get excited. It's fireworks night tomorrow night too. So like they're gonna already have like 25,000 people there. Maybe call up Oneil Cruz. You sell another 1,000 tickets or so. Screw it. Just do it. Like they
makes
need
up
to
his
do it.
salary that you're going to be paying for.
Yep.
It's an investment. Call up Cruz. It's an investment opportunity.
And then and I get they're going to manipulate service time. It's just what they're going to do, right? So like they're not going like Oneil Cruz isn't going to be the starting shortstop opening day next year, right? Just not going to happen.
Yeah, and it would be dumb to do that.
Right. But in 3 days worth of service time, all you're doing is that maybe instead of calling them up on April 15th, you're calling them up on April 18th, right? Like who cares?
It is just 3 days.
I do think that's where they separate themselves from the last regime, though, is not forcing everyone into a Super 2.
Yeah.
And calling them up after that deadline instead of waiting till June. Because God knows that how many games the Pirates lost throwing out scrubs waiting for Super 2.
Right.
When they were good.
No, I agree with you.
One thing I'll say, maybe challenge that ideology a little bit here. I know the last regime did get a lot of stuff about being slow with the prospects. I mean, we all know about Andrew McCutchen is like 3,000 plate appearances at Indy. So that was a thing, but I do want to say, and again, we are talking about Cruz, the last regime started to get aggressive, I feel, on some players. I mean, I know part of it too was also just the fact that it was injuries, but there was Newman and Brian Reynolds in the majors that none of us thought that would happen at that point. Oneil Cruz did get pushed along in the minors, I think, rather aggressively than a lot of us thought. But all I want to say here is with this current regime, like you talk about, change that mindset, right? This pushing people. Is it though? Like I kind of find, I'm curious too, some people get pushed and some don't. It seems like, why are some people, like, love to talk about Nick Gonzalez, like why is he still down there? But Contreras is now in the majors, and now we're talking about Cruz, being in the majors. So like I'm kind of mixed on that. Like I get what you're saying, and of course the big picture, the story, of course, is always the majors opposed to the minors. So them being here is a story to write upon, as you're talking about. But I don't know if the true philosophy is really different from the last one in that sense.
I think it's yet to be seen, mainly because what we're referring to is the Super 2 status, where we saw Garrett Cole get held back.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Tyon. Well, he was coming off Tommy John, but Polanco, Marte broke his hand.
It was always June.
It was always June, no matter what. Didn't matter. Yeah, it did not matter. It was June. You could be the 8th ranked prospect. It was going to be June. Mm-hmm. That's where I think hopefully we see a change. And also, there's something to be said that we're going to a new CBA, so they might know something we don't.
There could be a force of a change.
Yeah.
That's true.
So maybe Super 2 goes out the window, but it would be great to just see them say, screw it, we're going to pay you an extra couple $1 million. You'll be here 7 years instead of 6 and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, along the lines of you mentioned Nick Gonzalez, like we heard the news today, Carmen Mlodzinski was just promoted to Indianapolis to basically get one more start in, right? Go ahead, Oneil Cruz to Pittsburgh, Nick Gonzalez to Indy. Do that. Let's go.
I'm with it. And so the other caveat to my whole thing about, is this really the case of the new regime, is the fact that things are a lot funkier right now with the minor leagues, right? Like there's leagues that are done and there's leagues that are continuing. So some of these promotions per se, I don't really look at as true promotions, as if, we're pushing you to AAA now. It's as, well, there's nowhere else to play. So just to get you plate appearances, we're going to put you here. So that's part of it too. I don't know. I can't really hold on to what's happening right now in the last week of the season to really consider that this regime is all for calling people up early and whatnot. I mean, we're talking about 1 day of service time, and potentially if they call up Cruz 3 days, which doesn't really do much. So I guess that's just where I'm in.
Bernardo, that is a wildly different thing than what Neil Huntington's regime did.
I know
This
is,
would
but
have
at the
never
same
happened,
time, no,
ever.
Huntington's regime never went through this situation. Games are being
They
played
still wouldn't have. They still wouldn't have. I mean, dear God, we have a guy hurt for a couple of days, and we can't call that prospect up. Super
I get it. I get it. But, you know, the whole, like the September call-ups were different back then. The leagues all ended at the same time in a playoff. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not ready to go ahead and anoint that to this new regime yet. That's all. If this was September 1st and Roansy got the call-up for the rest of the year, to me, that's different. Opposed to here's a start.
There also might be a little bit of desperation.
Could be.
Where nobody gives a shit about us. Let's call it Roansy.
There's literally no pressure on you right now. Like this is going to be the best opportunity to start a Major League Baseball for the first time. Here you go, kid. Nobody's watching. There's no expectations. If you fail, nobody cares. No one was there to see it.
We joke about that, but I don't think it's the worst development tool in the world either, though, because you could see him, albeit for 3 innings, pitch against major leaguers.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's 3 innings, you have something for the offseason.
It's done. Well, that is why I did like that. That is absolutely why I did like the whole thing. He got it, and he gets to go in the offseason with that under his belt. I mean, that's a confidence booster. Regardless of how that start went, he made it. He's there. There's only one thing in sight now going into next year, and that's staying there, which we know won't happen. But maybe by the 16th it will.
So, well, if we have a season by then.
Tyler is manifesting all the negativity.
Positive vibes only, Tyler. Positive vibes
I
only.
apologize.
Tyler's like, well, it's okay if they have Tommy John because there's not going to be a season anyways. So
Fair.
Jeez.
all right. Can we stick on Cruz though? Let's really talk about him.
Yeah.
Again, I would love to see it, but
Are we allowed to keep talking, or does Jim have to go pack?
We can keep talking.
yes, there's a lot of stuff that's really positive about Oneil Cruz right now. He's just absolutely killing the ball. We knew he had that in him, but he's looked really good, right? Coming back from his injury in AA, and like I said, right now in AAA, he's just mashing. I don't know how to where we want to go with this. We're going to preface this, but what are your thoughts on Oneil Cruz right now heading into this offseason?
Ooh. I always thought his ceiling was basically Aaron Judge, but a shortstop.
Aaron Judge light. I was waiting.
Yeah, I'm not even saying Aaron Judge light. Like I'm saying his ceiling is like he could be Aaron Judge, but play shortstop, right? He could also just be Gregory Polanco. So it's like he could be he could be everything. He could be those two. He could be everything in between. I think what just this year has at least for me is it's made me a little bit more confident that he can be pretty good. At least, right? I don't know if he'll reach that Aaron Judge ceiling, but I think he can be pretty good. Like the power is obviously there. The strikeout rate is exactly what you wanted, because that was like one of the big concerns was the strikeouts, right? Can he make contact enough? And this year he just completely just did away with that concern. Like the strikeout rate was fine the whole year. It's the best it's been since he was an A ball at 19 years old. So his strikeout rate is excellent. He is just absolutely. I mean, you just watch his highlights and it's like this dude can hit, right? At this point, it's just a matter of like where are you going to put him, right? That's where the issue is. But at the end of the day, who cares if he's going to hit? We're going to find somewhere to put him. But gosh, I think what this year has done for me is just make me a little bit more confident in that he's going to be a prospect that hits as opposed to a prospect that flops. I just have more confidence in that he hits as opposed to flopping now.
He's not going to play shortstop.
And that's fine.
Negative Tyler. Negative Tyler.
He's not. Look, I get it. Like, he's athletic. He's got like 16 errors and like 100 chances. That's fine.
Minor league errors mean nothing.
Yeah, I know it. Jim, he's still 6'7", and everyone outside the organization doesn't think he can stick it to shortstop. Shortstop.
Yeah, but everyone inside this organization does. So
yeah,
F the
everyone
haters.
inside. Everyone's. He's not sticking there, but I hope he does. I would like to see him continue to play there, mainly just because I would like to be proven wrong. And there's way more value to be played there.
There is.
But worse comes to worse. Like Jim said, I'm more confident in the bat now than I was. So call him up this weekend.
Boom.
So basically his entire tenure up until maybe not even the beginning of the season, but early into the season, I was just always, he's not going to be a shortstop. It's just not going to happen. Until, again, it was a season early on, and I'm just like, you know what? They keep putting him there, and it's not as if this is the same regime. This is the second regime that's come in and said, you're playing shortstop. So I'm kind of just like, you know what? I'm going to live with it. Like, I personally deep down didn't think about, but they're smarter than me. And everyone inside that keeps talking about him says, everyone's saying it. He can play shortstop. So if they think he can play shortstop, right?
But
if his mama calls him, if his mama calls him a shortstop, I'm gonna call him a shortstop. That's how I feel, right? If Ben Cherington says he's a shortstop, I'm gonna say he's a shortstop until he tells me he's not.
Like Felipe joke?
No, that was a Coming to America joke. But anyways, young
Okay,
buck.
well, I like the Felipe joke where I said that if his mama calls him Rivero, I call him Rivero.
Well, that's where that joke came from. So now you know the origin. But anyways,
you're welcome. No, I gave you the joke.
Whatever. So anyways, that's just kind of where I'm at. And that's another thing too. Obviously the value's there. I mean, that bat at shortstop, how can you not get exciting about that? I mean, if he's a right fielder.
I can't wait to get exciting about that.
Excited. If he's a right fielder, that's cool, right? That bat plays. I mean, if he's Aaron Judge, he's a right fielder, that's cool. But if he's a shortstop, holy hell, that's amazing. So the value's there. If they're saying he can play shortstop, then I'm going to give him every opportunity to. If he slides to outfield, then it is what it is. I mean, it's still a plus bat. Like, he still could potentially be a really good player. But I'm literally like where you guys are at too. You know, heading into this year, like, he was the epitome of this entire organization of high risk, high reward. He had probably the highest ceiling and probably the lowest floor of anybody. And I look at right now and I just feel as if that floor is just rising. Like, I'm with Jim. I feel safer and safer to the day about this guy. This ceiling is still way out there. We don't know what he's going to hit on that ceiling yet, but he will hit the majors. Hopefully tomorrow he will hit the majors, and there's a good chance that he could be a good player. I like that.
Let's get weird. Put him at third. You know what we do with that third baseman?
I think if you're
I think O'Brien's got third lockdown.
Yeah, I
No,
think if you're
you know
going
what
to
we do with him?
up,
We put him at shortstop.
O'Brien.
Oh, yeah. Let's go weird.
I think if you're going to call up,
You
a guy,
don't hate it, do you?
We talked about this at the beginning. We talked about this in
I
spring.
know. I know, but you don't hate it.
Or even second base.
I'm honestly,
No,
I'm
Brian
shocked.
shortstop.
I'm shocked they haven't tried Hayes at shortstop yet, honestly. And like, I know he's like a Gold Glove third baseman. I don't know if you
That's
really
because
mess
he
with
was
that.
fat coming up,
Like,
and then he got skinny.
yeah, like I think the dude can play short.
I agree.
But no, I mean, if you call up Oneil Cruz, he's not playing third base. He's playing shortstop. Like, you're not going to shove him in a new position.
I'm talking about next year. I'm not talking about these 3
Right.
games.
Let's just but no, you're right. I would be all for that idea. All for it.
And that's the thing too. I know all in all, it is just whatever. But if you're going to try a 6'7" shortstop, it's probably a lot easier pill to swallow to try it out with like a Brian Hayes at third, because basically all Cruz has to do is just fall over, and what he can't reach right in his 6'7" range, Brian's got. So we're good.
I do think there's something to be said about the shifts, and half the time you're not playing shortstop.
Yeah.
So if you're a good shifting team, you could probably get away with a subpar defender there.
I agree. I mean, you think about it. Brian Hayes basically plays shortstop every time a lefty's up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then you're basically have Oneil Cruz playing right field where he should be.
Yeah, he's playing like shallow right. Yeah.
Unless those rules come into place, talking about the Arizona Fall League implementing in there, shifts are pretty much banned. Guys got to be in the field, no grass, 2 guys on each side of the base. So that's happening in the Arizona Fall League. So that's assuming, right, that doesn't happen in the majors next year.
I can't see it.
I don't know what to expect.
I don't know. I could see it just because, we always talk about the whole, there's issues when it comes to, just putting the ball in play, right?
I'm not going to lie. I've kind of come around on banning shifts a little bit.
I'd be fine either way.
Personally, I don't hate it.
I've come around a little more.
I was, oddly enough, so like I feel as if I was really anti it, because it was like, well, finally the Pirates got good at something, and it's because they were creative, and this is how they did it. And now here's another way of shutting down the Pirates, right? Shutting down the small market teams because they found an advantage. Well, it doesn't really matter anymore because the Pirates are terrible, and everyone's done the shift anyways. But like I just, in a blank slate, right? Putting things in perspective, just for the game. I understand that, it takes away some things, right? The people can get an advantage and this and that, but ultimately I just feel like it is best for the game as well. Like Jim says, it's going to, I mean, it might even not. Like really, if you look overall with the shift, I mean, balls in play really hasn't changed. So ultimately, like that's the big question. Do the shifts even really matter? Do they really make a difference? Because balls in play is about the same now as it was beforehand. But maybe incentivizes people to, right? Like you don't have pull hitters with 14 defenders on one side, so they can continue to pull the ball maybe, and things get more exciting and hitting, there's more action. So like I'm for it as well, and I can kind of compare it to like the NBA, right? The NBA bans a zone, right? I got to play man to man, this and that. I mean, it just is what it is. Maybe you take away some creativity because you limit the teams to doing certain things, right? Teams are creative in doing the shift, and I get it. But what's ultimately good for baseball overall? I'm good to going back to the basics. 2 guys on each side, guys in the dirt. I'm cool with that.
It also does well for the viewing experience, where I don't have to watch a ball get hit up the middle and get fielded by a guy standing there.
I mean, he'll be probably close to it though.
It's really annoying when it's an easy out on a line drive right up the middle.
I agree, but I don't know if banning the shift necessarily changes that. But no, I know what you mean. Like when ball's off the bat and you're like, oh, that's a hit, and there's a guy standing right there.
Yeah.
It seems like that happens all the time. If it's like a lefty and they slap a line drive to the left side, it's always right to the shifted third baseman. Like there's one guy over there and hits it right at him.
I don't know. I like the shift still. It's more just come to terms with it. And also, I feel like I've watched Clint Hurdle get burned by it so many times that I'm tired of it.
I could go either way.
Yeah, because at the same time, I mean, there's plenty of moments where the Pirates have the shift on and their player gets.
Well, yeah, but I remember the bad ones.
Exactly. I get it, Tyler. But I just think overall for the viewing,
Matt Adams hit slapping one down the line to win a game.
Actually, there you go. So thank you for bringing that up. If MLB bans the shifts, there is hope for Marcano still. Because he can slap bunt it into the perfect position now and get on base.
That is true.
There's a little hope for Marcano now. We do have a question. Jim, this is for you. I'm going to bring it up. Gabe Higgins asks, Cut's contract is up with the Phillies at the end of this year. Not sure if there is an option, which I do believe there is. Any chance he signs with the Pirates next year? I know we talked about a little bit, but Jim, anytime there's a Cut's question, I'll proudly bring it up to you.
I mean, I think we've talked a lot about how corner outfield in particular is an area of need for this team. Andrew McCutchen's a corner outfielder. He's probably not going to be too expensive, right? I'm all 26 for tonight.
I'll say,
yeah, I am all for bringing Andrew McCutchen back. I think he'd be better suited for right field than anything at this point. I don't think he could play left field at PNC Park. If he did, it just wouldn't go well. But Andrew McCutchen is your right fielder hitting 25 homers. Sign me up. Just sign me up. And I think he would go for it. I mean, Andrew McCutchen still lives in Pittsburgh. His family lives in Pittsburgh. So I don't see why there would be any issues.
Kid's name's Steele.
Yeah, exactly.
His daughter, you mean?
He still has his charities in Pittsburgh that he runs every year, and he's very involved in the community.
Yeah. No, I'd be all for it.
I would love it, but also I kind of want him to be able to go to a team that could win a World Series.
I mean, I get that, but ultimately, if he's choosing to come to Pittsburgh, like I would want what he would rather want.
Yeah, it's more of if he chooses not to, and the Pirates offered him $25 million, and he took like 15 to go play for, I don't know, whoever,
the Dodgers.
I get it. Yeah, the Dodgers. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna trash him for not coming back.
I mean, nobody should trash him for it. Well,
yeah,
there will be, but no one should. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, right? I would have no ill will if Andrew McCutchen decides not to sign with the Pirates. I mean, what incentive really is there opposed to just I get to come back home in that sense? It's somewhat monumental in that aspect because he's not the same player he was. It's not as if he's going to enter free agency and have demand and be able to choose wherever he wants to, albeit it could be the Giants again because they're on a cheating roll and they going to sign Andrew McCutchen on this 1-year deal and bring him into the scheme, and he's going to bat .310 again next year with 40 home runs. That could happen.
Honestly, that could happen. Goes to the Giants. They're all cheating, whatever they're doing over there right now, and he becomes MVP caliber again.
Exactly. So I could see Andrew McCutchen with the Giants. Makes perfect sense. He'll get paid. He'll get his championship. And he will turn to a team that he did play for before. So I guess that checks off all those boxes. But no, I deep down too would like Andrew McCutchen. I would like it for a number of reasons. We keep pounding the table on this team needs to get better. They can clearly spend some money. And I think Andrew McCutchen can do two things. Maybe more than two. I think he can make this team better next year. So there is improvement. It can be not a long-term deal, but what if he signs like a 2-year? He can kind of bridge that gap, into the bad, heading into the good per se. And then also for the fact that like Andrew McCutchen's back in town. This team needs some good ass PR. There's probably not a better signing this offseason you could make than that signing right there.
Yeah. But also he gets it, and this is going to be a really, really young team. And he was here when a lot of these guys were acquired that will be coming up. Like,
Yeah.
he was in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
He was in spring trainings with Oneil Cruz, right?
Yeah.
That's something that happened.
He knows how it works around here.
Yeah. Maybe he was in spring training with Oneil Cruz.
I was gonna say, I think that was
Well,
last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Probably not, but
Because that was
Cramp
Watson
him
was
up.
traded.
Yeah. I think Oneil Cruz would have been.
he was
But no, I know what you mean. So, and McCutcheon's kind of already been through a rebuild with this team and saw it come to fruition. And it would be kind of cool to see him be like just one of those
the
pieces
godfather.
to the rebuild. Yeah, and there's something to be said about that. Like having he would instantly become the clubhouse leader, right? I mean, those guys would just love him. And obviously the fans would too. But he's also still pretty good. Like at the end of the day, he's still pretty good. He's not the guy he was, right? So you don't expect him to come here and win MVPs. But I mean, if he were on the team right now, he'd lead the team in home runs, right?
So
if Cruz gets caught up tomorrow, Cruz got 3 games to potentially break that. So Cruz could be the home run leader at the end of the season.
That is correct.
So are we just gonna like go full on sign Kutch this offseason as North Shore 9?
Oh, I am every day.
Yeah. I'm full on Marte.
So
I'm just saying,
yeah, I was
I'm
waiting on
full
that.
on Marte, and I have my reasons, and they're way further and better than the Kutch one. But I am on board with Kutch as well. What I wanted to say too about Kutch, and you talk about the level of performance, I think it's a little bit different, and of course they're way different personalities. But everyone loves to compare the two regimes, right? The 2010, 11, 12 and stuff, and this one and whatnot. I mean, if you bring on an Andrew McCutchen right now at this point in time, would he kind of play that role too of like the AJ Burnett? AJ Burnett was I believe he was like probably one of the most integral parts of that rebuild. Like he just came and brought a mentality. He was the godfather. You talk like he was that dude. This whole team gravitated, and what I found interesting was like it was a pitcher. Usually, that's not a pitcher that has that pull in the clubhouse, and it was for him. And I feel like with an Andrew McCutchen signing would kind of do that. Like that's going to give this team, all this young team, something to gravitate towards. He's been there. He's been through it all. He's had ups and downs even in his career. But the difference too is he's been in this regime. Like he gets to come back home where AJ fell in love with it while being here, where Andrew's already had that love. Like there's already that love affair with him.
I'm behind it. I'm behind it 100%. I would love to see it happen.
Come on, Ben.
I'd even be okay if he signs a 2-year deal elsewhere and then signs after those 2 years.
I'm perfectly okay with a 2-year. Because again, I don't think he's not really blocking anybody. If he's here next year,
if he signs 2 years elsewhere, and then he comes back in 2 years in 2024,
got you.
I'd be okay with that too. If he wants to go get one more contract,
I'll wait till then to decide what he is.
I don't know. The other thing, I don't know what kind of contract he is going to.
Freaking took on Nate McLeod.
But I mean, I'm thinking if you offer Andrew McCutchen a 2-year, $10 million deal, like that gets it done.
10 in total or 10 per year?
10 total. I mean, he's a corner outfielder. He's a
3-war player right now. Oh,
like Yoshi's going to get that.
Above average hitting corner outfielder who's about to be 35.
He's Andrew McCutchen.
I know, but he could probably get a 1 year, like $8 million deal, if that. He's
gonna get like probably 2 for 20, maybe 2 for 18.
I don't know.
I don't know what the market's gonna do, but he's not getting 2 for 10. Like that's a freaking Applebee's meal.
I mean, he doesn't have 1 WAR this year on Fangraphs,
right?
Because of his defense. His defense is really what's pulling him down. And so hopefully you fix that by moving him to right field. And then, yeah, he's then a 2 to 3 WAR player.
I really want to look into him more.
Yeah.
I'm just putting this, like,
Okay.
he's got, which I know he's like his batting average has been low, but I'm looking at it now. It's actually really low. It's a lot lower than I thought it was at. It's at 218.
It's
But
like
he's also got a
I was
really
gonna say
low
it was-
BABIP.
Yeah.
Like
Walks
everything
in low,
else,
too.
it's BABIP, you
it's
uncultured
BABIP is
swine.
Bay. It will always be Bay.
God,
It's BABIP. I'm with Tyler.
it's
I mean,
BABIP.
I know it is. I don't care though. It is BABIP for me. I will always call it BABIP. That goes back to my Denaro dugouts days. But like, I look at his walk and strikeout rate, and like, it's pretty much all in line with like his career for the most part.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to find out more deeper about Kutch. But no, I mean, just get back on it. I'm interested in to see like what he would command in the offseason. I absolutely believe it's affordable. It's not as if the Pirates are going to be outpriced. They can certainly afford it. And I also would like a 2-year deal in it because he's not going to be blocking anybody at all. So why not have 2 years and call it a day?
I'm behind that 100%.
Yep.
So Vinny's got a question. He says, if they could theoretically re-sign him, he's meaning Yoshi, and Kutch, would you start Kutch or Yoshi in right field, knowing their defensive skills?
I'm starting Kutch in right field. I'm starting Yoshi at first.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Or Yoshi at DH, you know.
So
if
I
DH
think
is-
we are all on board that the DH is going to happen next year, right?
No.
You want
I
Tyler?
think it is.
No.
I thought you were.
No. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I don't.
Are you
even
just
know if
being
we're gonna
the
have a season.
contrarian and just saying no,
No,
because
I don't.
you always
I
have
just
to be
have no
different and
idea.
hard-headed?
No, I just have no idea what's going to happen because I don't even know if we'll have a season.
Negative Tyler.
I feel like the DH is something that the owners want. Like it's something the baseball wants, and it's something that the players would be completely fine with. Like I don't think the players care about National League pitchers hitting, right? So I don't really see it being that much of a like I would say it's like 80-20 right now. There's a DH next year.
That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm going into the offseason planning that the DH will be there. I think it's going to happen. So I guess really to answer your question, Kutch is in right field and Yoshi's at the DH, unless he's playing first. So yeah.
Yeah.
If there is no DH, then he's at first. And again, we're on board. Because if you're signing Yoshi, in my mind, if you're re-signing Yoshi, which I am, he's above Colin Moran. He's my first baseman. Figure out with Moran, or trade him, or just non-tender him, or whatever.
I'm just sitting here gambling on a football game, listening to you guys talk about Yoshi and wondering how the hell NFL refs are so awful.
Probably the same way MLB umpires are so awful.
Touche.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what's his name is done after this year?
Joe West.
West, yeah, he's done.
So kudos to that. That's something to celebrate.
He probably just wanted to leave before robot umps became a thing.
Yeah, well, if he wasn't here to begin with, maybe robot umps wouldn't be a thing.
Right.
I don't know. Did you see Chris Bassett? Is that his name?
The
Yeah.
pitcher?
Yeah, his tweet today about the umpire got like 99% of his calls right. And he's like, I don't know how that happened. I sprayed the ball all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I do enjoy that scorecard account.
I do like that too. Just nice to kind of see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why I like it also? For the same reason you talked about the shifts, and of course seeing all the good things and bad things per se. Like I just feel, of course, that all you see about on Twitter is miss this call, but you never see anyone talk about the other calls. It's always, oh, great frame Stallings. So then you get to see that car and be like, yeah, it was pretty even. They suck, but it was pretty even.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really not too many instances where it's like lopsided, right?
Like last night. Nesbitt tweeted the Pirates would have won if they would have got the calls split evenly.
I mean, it does happen.
The Cubs got The Cubs got 1.07 runs out of it.
And Jake Arrieta was not pitching. So how about that?
Yeah, that is crazy.
We have a question.
Matt.
This one's for Jim. Why doesn't that Kentucky Hilljack Jim Rosati shave that shit off his face? I'll let you guess where that question came from.
I'm gonna guess it's from Bucko Mike. So what's going on, Mike? The reason why I haven't shaved this off my face is because in Kentucky we don't have running water. So it's pretty. Have you ever tried shaving without having running water? Like you just got to like shave. It's dry. It's hard, dude. It's not fun. Big time.
So there you have it.
Burn.
There you go. The hard hitting questions from Bucko Mike.
It's always great to have him.
Yep.
Gabe says he also lives in Kentucky. He can confirm.
Just the way it is.
Perfect. Good to know. All right. So we got our Kutch talk out the way for the off season. So yeah, I guess anything else before we wrap up the show? It's been a little bit of time here.
I told you we were going to build on last week where we did 2 hours.
We're going to keep going. We're going to go 3 hours tonight. If we get more questions in the chat.
I got to go to bed.
Because Jim's got to pack. Jim's got to pack. Come on, guys. Keep asking the questions.
I got to pack. Yeah.
Let's just be honest. The Pirates suck. There's not much more to add.
Pirates suck, but let's call up Oneil Cruz so we have a reason to watch this last weekend.
Let's have fun while they suck. Last note, right? If they can take 2 out of 3 against the Reds, Tyler and I nail our win prediction at 61.
That's all we need.
Jim, the idiot over here, who can't shave his face, already awful. 54. I mean, just looking like an idiot. Tyler and I can nail it on the money with a 2 out of 3 victory against the Reds, which, I mean, they can certainly do, especially if Oneil Cruz is up here. We just know what they won't do is sweep.
But wouldn't that be the best way to go out, is sweeping the last series of the year?
I mean, it kind of, yes, like it would.
That'd be great.
But at the same sense, I don't want to, because I kind of want to remember this year as the year that they couldn't sweep. They had.
The other thing too is they are tied with the Rangers right now for the 3rd overall pick. So
yes, that's right. The Rangers won today.
Yeah, it's got some. It actually has implications.
So really, all in all, just 3 games left that don't matter. All in all, you really want them to lose. Because yes, I understand it's just one more draft pick up there, but I mean it's a higher number pick, but ultimately it's also more money that the Pirates get to use, which we saw this year how that can be spread around and done if it's done right. So I guess theoretically, yeah, 3's better than 4.
You would rather have the 3rd pick than the 4th pick.
So would you rather have a
61
sweep?
wins than 60.
Would you rather sweep or get swept right now then?
I would rather sweep than get swept. Screw the Reds.
Let's do it then.
Give me 2 out of 3 and let the Rangers sweep.
There you go. That would
nailed it. Yeah, because you know what? Honestly, my pride is more important.
What is like the tie? What's the tiebreaker? Like, what happens if we tie? How's that work? Is it previous year's record? I think it is.
Does division count for anything?
You're asking the wrong people.
I'm curious because there's a very good chance now that we could tie.
We should play a game 163 to determine it.
It's like a South Park episode.
Whoever
how about
whoever loses gets the number 3 pick. Could you imagine that having having an extra game and it's whoever loses gets the higher pick? You have a tank off in one game.
So it is the previous year's record.
So Pirates win it.
Yep.
So
So
there
the
you go.
Pirates would win. So we could both sweep. There you go.
Perfect. The Pirates own the tiebreaker. Yes, Pirates win. Let's go Bucks.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we're going to wrap up here. Jim's got to catch a plane to Kansas City. Tyler's got to go to work in 12 hours. Got to get your sleep.
I gotta be at work. I gotta be up in like, what time is it? 11.
Poor Tyler.
I gotta be up at 7.
Oh, Tyler's only going to get 8 hours of sleep. What is he ever going to do?
I gotta be up at 7.
Yes, that's
You think
8
I'm gonna
hours.
jump? You think I'm gonna go to bed right now?
All right, we're out of here then. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.